भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकी। Hare Krishna. Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, the passing away of Bhīṣmadeva, Shloka 45 and 46. Tatra dundu bhayo neduhu
तत्र दुन्दुभयो नेदुः
deva manava vaditaha
देवमानववादिताः
shashansu sadava ragyam
शशंसु साधवराज्ञाम्
khatapetu pushpavrishtayah
खातपेतुः पुष्पवृष्टयः
tasya niharan adini
तस्य निर्हरन् आदिनीः
sampare tasya bhargava
संपरे तस्य भार्गव
Yudhiṣṭhira कारयित्वा
युधिष्ठिरः कारयित्वा
मुहूर्तुम दुःखित अभवत्।
मुहूर्तुं दुःखित अभवत्
तत्र दुन्दुभय नेदुः
तत्र दुन्दुभयोः नेदुः
देवमानववादिताः
देवमानववादिताः
शशंसुः साधव राज्ञाम्
शशंसुः साधवो राज्ञान्
खातपेतु पुष्पवृष्टयः
खातपेतुः पुष्पवृष्टयः
तस्य निर्हरन् आदीनि
तस्य निर्हरन् आदीनि
संपरे तस्य भार्गव।
संपरे तस्य भार्गव
युधिष्ठिर कारयित्वा
युधिष्ठिरः कारयित्वा
मुहूर्तुम दुःखित अभवत्।
मुहूर्तुं दुःखित अभवत्
तत्र दुन्दुभय नेदुः देवमानववादिताः शशंसु साधव राज्ञाम् खातपेतु पुष्पवृष्टयः तस्य निर्हरन् आदीनि संपरे तस्य भार्गव। युधिष्ठिर कारयित्वा मुहूर्तुम दुःखित अभवत्। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण
प्लीज रीड प्रभु जी।
तत्र दुन्दुभयः नेदुः देवमानववादिताः शशंसु साधव राज्ञान् खातपेतुः पुष्पवृष्टयः तस्य निर्हरन् आदीनि संपरेः तस्य भार्गव युधिष्ठिरः कारयित्वा मुहूर्तं दुःखित अभवत्।
श्रीधर प्रभु जी प्लीज रीड।
हरे कृष्ण। तत्र धुन्धुभयो नेतुर्देवमानववादिता शशंसु साधवो राज्ञां काद्वेतु पुष्पवृक्षया तस्य निर्हरणदीनि सम्बोधरस्य भार्गवः युधिष्ठिर कारयित्वा मुहूर्तं दुःखित अभवत्। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण। पूनम माता जी प्लीज रीड। आशीष प्रभु जी प्लीज रीड।
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे
तत्र दुन्दुभायो नेदुर् देवमानववादिताः शशंसु साधवो राज्ञां खत्पेतु पुष्पवृष्टया तस्य निर्हारान् आदीनि संपरे तस्य भार्गव युधिष्ठिरः कारयित्वा मुहूर्तं दुःखितो अभवत्।
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thereafter, both men and demigods sounded drums in honor, and the honest royal order commenced demonstrations of honor and respect, and from the sky fell showers of flowers. O descendants of Bhrigu, Shaunaka, after performing funeral rituals for the dead body of Bhīṣmadeva, Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira was momentarily overtaken with grief. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhishmadev was respected both by the human beings and by the demigods. The human beings live on Earth and similar other planets in the Bhū and Bhuvar group of planets. But the demigods live in the Svar or heavenly planets, and all of them knew Bhishmadeva as a great warrior and devotee of the Lord. As a mahājana authority, he was on the level of Brahmā, Nārada, Śiva. Although he was a human being, qualification on a par with the great demigods is possible only on attainment of spiritual perfection. Thus, Bhishmadeva was known all over the universes during his time. Interplanetary travel was effected by finer methods than the futile endeavors of mechanical spacecraft. When the distant planet were informed of the passing away of Bhishmadeva, all the inhabitants of the upper planets as well as of the earth dropped showers of flowers to show the due respects to departed great personality. This showering of flowers from heaven is a sign of recognition by great demigods, and it should never be compared to a decoration of a dead body. The body of Bhishmadeva lost its material effects due to being surcharged with spiritual realization. Thus, the body was spiritualized as when iron become red hot when in contact with fire. The body of a fully self-realized soul is not therefore accepted as material. Special ceremonies are observed for such spiritual bodies. The respect and recognition of Bhishmadeva are never to be imitated by artificial means, as it has become a fashion to observe the so-called Jayanti ceremony for every common man. According to authorized Shastras, such a Jayanti ceremony for an ordinary man, however exalted he may be materially, is an offense unto the Lord, because Jayanti is reserved for the day when the Lord appears on the earth. Bhishmadeva was unique in his activities, and his passing away to the kingdom of God is also unique. Bhishmadeva was not only a great family head of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, but also he was a great philosopher and friend to him, his brothers and his mother. Since Maharaj Pandu, the father of five brothers headed by Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, had died, Bhishmadeva was the most affectionate grandfather of the Pandavas and caretaker of the widow daughter-in-law, Kunti Devi. Although Maharaj Dhritarashtra, the elder uncle of Maharaj Yudhiṣṭhira, was there to look after them, his affection was more on the side of his 100 sons, headed by Duryodhana. Ultimately, a colossal clique was fabricated to deprive the five fatherless brothers of the rightful claim of the kingdom of Hastinapur. There was great intrigue common in imperial palaces, and the five brothers were exiled to the wilderness. But Bhishmadeva was always a sincerely sympathetic well-wisher, grandfather, friend, and philosopher to Maharaj Yudhiṣṭhira, even up to the last moment of his life. He died very happily by seeing Maharaj Yudhiṣṭhira to the throne. Otherwise, he would have long ago quitted his material body instead of suffering agony over the undue suffering of the Pandavas. He was simply waiting for the opportune moment, because he was sure and certain that the sons of Pandu would come out victorious in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, as his lordship Sri Krishna was their protector. As a devotee of the Lord, he knew that The Lord's devotee cannot be vanquished at any time. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira was quite aware of all these good wishes of Bhīṣmadeva, and therefore he must have been feeling the great separation. He was sorry for the separation of a great soul and not for the material body, which Bhīṣmadeva relinquished. The funeral ceremony was a necessary duty. Although Bhīṣmadeva was a liberated soul, since Bhīṣmadeva was without issue, the eldest grandson, namely Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, was the rightful person to perform this ceremony. It was a great boon to Bhīṣmadeva that an equally great son of the family undertook the last rites of a great man. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण. We try to understand shloka number 45 and 46. Here, how the demigods and other planetary persons or honest royal order commence demonstration and honor and respect when the um, Bhīṣmadeva quitting their body. Here they again explain about they have fixed understand, they fixedly understand that Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj will become a king. All these points which are described in these two shlokas, Prabhuji will tell in detail. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhya kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. So it was a very sad moment when Bhīṣmadev was one of the greatest of warriors, one of the best persons, the most advanced devotees, and who had the benediction to decide when he would like to leave his body. Finally took the call, the decision, and left the body. So though a sad moment, it was also a glorious moment because he created an ideal of how to leave body. So generally we always speak of we don't know how to live. So now this leave can be LIVE as well as LEAVE. So Prabhupada ji used to say that if you want to learn how to live LIVE, you should study you should study Bhagavad Gita. And to learn how to live LEAVE, you should study Srimad Bhagavatam. These two scriptures together give us the knowledge, the necessary intelligence to understand our eternal position, to question why we are here, to find the remedies for the malice that we are suffering, and successfully transcend the material ocean to reach back to our original loka. So Bhīṣmadeva here actually demonstrated how the life has to be liven, the body has to be liven. And considering the glorious nature of his passing away, considering that Lord Krishna himself was present in front of him, it became all the more respectable. So everyone knew that it was an honorable thing, and so everyone sounded the drums, be it the humans or the demigods, be it the royal order which was gathered there, or the common persons, or the rishis, the munis, as we saw in the previous shlokas. Everyone demonstrated their honor and respect. And to the extent that flowers were showered from the sky. And Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj, he momentarily had a grief, but then he had performed the rituals for Bhīṣmadeva. This is what human life is. Death is the only guarantee if you have taken birth. Nothing else is guaranteed or assured. And it is said that kshanai kshanai hai, every moment we are dying. Parikshit Maharaj was lucky here that he was told that after 7 days, the Takshak snake will come and bite him and he will die. But when it comes to us in Kali Yuga, we are not aware when that final moment is going to be. So we need to learn from these acharyas, from these mahajanas, from Srimad Bhagavatam, of how actually we leave the body. Human beings, we are living on Earth or similar other planets in Bhūr and Bhuvar group of planets. So there are 14 lokas, if you all remember. The demigods, they live in the Svar or the higher loka. So I'm sure we had seen this chart previously, which I'm showing again right now, so that it becomes a revision for us. So we are here, Martyalok. And what is the Martyalok? The Martyalok, this is the Martyalok that we are talking about. Sorry. Okay. So we are here on the Martyalokaha. And this consists of 2 planetary lokas. That is Bhuvarlok and Bhurlok. And then we have the higher planetary systems, Svarlok, Mahārāja, Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok. Satyalok is the loka where we have the Brahma's planets. And then we have the 7 planets, which are the lower planets, the Patal lokas. So there we have Atal, Vital, Sutal, AVS, and TMRP. Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, and actual Patal. So these lokas actually also signify the level of consciousness and the level of how much the jiva has progressed and how much the jiva is ready to understand and improve upon the situation. So higher the consciousness, the better are the chances to go to the higher lokas. But then higher lokas, they still come under the material world only. And since they are still the material world, death and rebirth, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi are assured. So while Bhūlok may be signified with memory and reasoning, the moment you have better willpower, direct recognition, divine love, divine sight, illumination, we go up. If you are having fear and lust, we start going down. Anger makes us go down more. Jealousy brings us more further down. Confusion, more down. Selfishness, rasatal. No consciousness, then we are into Mahatal. And the moment we are involved in malice and murder, you are going to be into Patal. So all this knowledge, Gyan, this is not something which is new. This is available in our Shastras. And that is what we are trying to learn. And as a Mahājana, Bhīṣmadeva, he not only was a great warrior and a devotee of the Lord, he had come to the level of Brahmā, Nārada and Śiva, though he was a human being. So his qualification was on par with great demigods. And that is possible only when someone attains spiritual perfection. And since this was done, he was known all over the universes. And so all the inhabitants of the upper planets, they showered flowers to show respect to the departed great personality. So this indirectly also means that in those days, interplanetary travels, interloka travels was also possible. And it was done by finer methods. While what we try now is futile endeavors of mechanical spacecrafts. So the showering of flowers from heaven is a sign of recognition by great demigods. But then that is something which should not be compared and followed for the lowly creatures who try to decorate dead bodies. The body of a fully realized, self-realized soul. Only for such persons, special ceremonies are observed. It is not material. But what we see in Kali Yuga now is almost everyone is trying to celebrate Jayantis for every person who has ever been there, even for ordinary persons. Materially, they may be very, very exalted, but the moment we celebrate such Jayantis, it is an offense to the Lord, because Jayanti is reserved for the day when the Lord appears on the earth. But due to the influence of Kali Yuga and the lack of knowledge, lack of wisdom, lack of intelligence, such things are not only increasing but are being promoted by the lowly persons who try to make it as a festival and create nuisance, which is not as per or in sync with what the Shastras are saying. Nowhere in the Shastras we talk about having DJ, having lightning, having loud music, having drinks. That is not the way to show respect to great departed souls. The shloka gives us how it is to be done. It has to be done by showering of the flowers, by remembering his greatness, by remembering his activities. Bhīṣmadeva was unique in his activities, and so his passing away to the kingdom of God is also unique. And that is what we have to understand. Bhīṣmadeva, though he had the benediction of whenever he could leave the body, he didn't leave the body immediately. In front of him, while he was there, so many things which are not as per religious principles were happening. He, in fact, who was the rightful heir to the throne, had to give it up for the pleasure of his father. And then he had to ensure that the next in line received appropriate support. Maharaj Pandu, he had an unfortunate death. He had only 5 kids, the 5 brothers, the Pandavas, headed by Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira. So Bhīṣmadeva was actually a grandfather for the Pandavas. And at the same time, he also took up the responsibility of being a caretaker for the daughter-in-law Kunti Devi. So he tried to provide them the best of the education and everything. But then Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira was the elder uncle of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira. He had more affection towards his 100 sons headed by Duryodhana. And so many cliques, colloquial cliques, methods, activities were done so as to deprive the orphan brothers of the rightful claim of kingdom of Hastinapur. In fact, they were also exiled to wilderness. Bhīṣmadeva was seeing all of this. He was sympathetic well-wisher. He was a friend. He was a philosopher to Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, even up to the last moment of his life. But since his vow and his assurance was to the throne, he could not openly take up the sides of Dharma, that is Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj. But his well-wishes were always with Yudhiṣṭhira. Even in the last moment of his life, we have seen how he guided Yudhiṣṭhira, how none of the devotees, none of the rishis, none of the munis, even Krishna could not directly solve the grief, the anxiety which Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira was feeling, and his questions were answered successfully by Bhīṣmadeva. And after that only Bhīṣmadeva died happily, seeing Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira to the throne. So this shows his greatness. He saw that it was the opportune moment, that now the kingdom was in the rightful hands. Because Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira was a devotee of the Lord, and he knew the Lord. Devotees cannot be vanquished at any time. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashva chanti nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. This is what Krishna says. Declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. So devotee who is engaged in Navida Bhakti is cleansing all material contamination from the heart and putting Krishna in his heart. So all contaminations are naturally washed away. Continuous thinking of the Supreme Lord makes a devotee pure. And due to his remembering of Krishna, he becomes all the more ready. So chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare has to be continued without stoppage. This protects the devotee from all accidental fall downs, and he remains free from all material contaminations. So Bhīṣmadeva was quite aware of all these good wishes of Bhīṣmadeva. And since Bhīṣmadeva did not have any other child, Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira was the eldest grandson and the rightful person to perform the last rites. So thus Bhīṣmadeva had one more boon, that an equally great son of the family took the last rites for Bhīṣmadeva. Hare Krishna.